Hello everyone, welcome to Pepcoding. Today we are here to solve a question name restore IP addresses, right? So let's go on the board, discuss the question. After that we will try to code the problem. So here we are given a string. So let's have input of the string 255.255.1135, right? Just suppose this is the given string we have. What we have to do? We have to extract as much possible IP address from it. Okay, a valid IP address. Okay, and we are given the definition of the valid IP address. What is a valid IP address actually? Let's talk about this. So a valid IP address should follow all these three conditions. What is the first condition? It should be in 4 parts, right? Like this is the string. If you divide it in 4 parts like this, like this, like this. So yes, it is the valid IP address, right? So the part should be equals to 4 and the parts are separated by dots. Dot, 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 right? Now let's talk about something more. This is the first condition. What is the second condition? Every part whose length is greater than 1. Length is greater than 1. What it should not start with 0. Right? What it means, like 0.0.0.0, it is acceptable. This is a valid IP address. Its length is 1. It can be 0. But 01.01.01, this is not valid. This is not valid because it is starting with 0, right? Okay, so we have to take care of that. Now let's erase it. Okay, now talk about the third condition. What should be the third condition? Third condition is about the range of the part. Like just suppose 255.255.1135, right? So I divide it like this and like this, like 551. So this is out of the range. Let's talk about the range. It can vary from 0 to 255. Okay, so 551 is not in the range, so it is invalid IP address, right? So we have to take care of this range as well. Every part should belong from this range. Okay, so now let's go and talk something the approach about how we are going to solve this problem. So if the given string is 255.255.11 and 35, so we have options to divide it from the 1 length, 2 length and 3 length. These 3 options we have, right? So we are going to make 3 calls from here. Index plus 1, index plus 2 and last index plus 3, right? These 3 calls we are going to make. Okay, after that also we have to do a lot of things, but first of all, whatever we have discussed, let's go and try to code it. Okay, so this is the editor, and here first of all what we need to do, we need to make a vector to store our answer. Vector string answer, right? This is done. We are going to use a helper function to solve this problem. So helper, inside this what we are going to send, we are going to send the string 0. We are traversing on the string, so for that we need an index where we can track on which index we are currently. Okay, so for that I am sending the starting point 0, one more integer value to always track how many parts we have made from the given string till now, right? This is for that. And one more thing, what we have to send, we have to send a string to store the temporary variable. Okay, here, and one more thing, answer, right? Okay, so first of all let's go make a string to store the temporary answer. Temporary answer, initially it will be blank, right? This is done. We'll send that here, temporary answer. So okay, now whenever we will return from this point, what will happen, we will return the answer. Okay, this is done. Now let's talk about something else, about this helper function that we have used here. We have to define that as well, right? So void helper, here we are getting a string, so a string s comma. Now what we have to define integer that is representing the index. Okay, and one more integer that is representing the parts, and one more string that is the temporary answer, right? And after this what we are having a vector. So vector of a string type, name is answer, right? This is done. We need to actually return the value, so we will pass it by reference. This is done. Now we are inside the function. What we have to do, as we have discussed, first of all we need to make 3 calls. Okay, so helper, first of all s then index plus 1. After that a part, right? So we have made one part, so we will increase it by 1. After this what we are left with? Temporary answers. Okay, so actually let's hold it for a second. We have to make some modifications before sending the temporary answer forward. Okay, so after this what we have to do? We have to send the answer vector as it is, right? Okay, now let's talk about what modification do we need to make. So a string answer so far, right? So what we'll do, we'll add a temporary answer inside that, and after this we have to add the character that we have used, right, to make the part. Whatever part we have taken from the string, we will add that in our answer, right? So as dot 0, as 0, like that character only, because we are just moving one step ahead, so we can just use a character. Okay, not actually 0, it is index. Okay, and according to the format of the IP address, we have to add a dot for separating, right? So we have to add a dot here as well. Where it is gone? Here, right? So dot. Okay, this is done, and what we'll do, we'll send the answer so far here, right? This is done. Now we have to do the same thing, 2 calls more. So let's copy and paste it, paste and paste. What we need to do, we need to just modify the index value, right? Index plus 2, index plus 3. Okay, so now we have done that. Now let's go on the board again and discuss some more things, right? Let's just suppose you are at this point and you are trying to access index plus 2. It will be possible, right? It will give some error. Okay, so before accessing we need to check, is it possible or not? After that we will make the call, right? So whenever you are making the call, first of all we need to make a check. If index plus 2 is less than or equals to s dot length, right? And one more thing, the validity. We will discuss about the validity later. Just use for it, like we are just checking the validity. So is valid. What is valid? The substring that we are using to make our answer, that is s dot substring from index to 2 step ahead, right? So this is done. Okay, now same thing here as well. Index plus 3 should be less than or equals to s dot length. Okay, and validity here as well is valid. Inside this we are going to pass a substring s dot substring index comma 3, right? This is done. Okay, now let's close this bracket here. The call is made, right? We have checked the condition and we have made the calls. Okay, we are forgetting one thing. What is that? Okay, now we have to modify the answer so far here as well, right? So answer so far will be equals to temporary answer plus, there we have used one character only, that's why you have directly accessed one character, but now we are using 2 or more than 2 characters, so we have to use a substring. So s dot substring inside this index comma index comma 2, right? So this will give us the substring. We will add that in our temporary answer. And one more thing, what we do, we have to add, that is dot, right? Don't forget that. Okay, this is done. Now we have to do the same thing here as well. Let's go. Answer so far will be equals to temporary answer plus s dot substring from index to 3 step ahead, right? This is done, and add the dot. Okay, this is done. Now let's go on the board again. Okay, so this is the board. These parts are done. Now what we have to do, we have to handle the base case, because we are making 3 recursive calls. So what should be the base case in this condition? We are traversing on this string, right? If we reach here at the end of the string, it means we reached our base case. We don't need to go further from this point. This is base case number 1. Let's talk about the second one. We have to make 4 part out of it, right? If we made 4 part, so it means we have already handled, like it means we reached the base case. We don't need to go further if the part is equals to 4, right? This is the second case. First one was the length, if we reach the end of the length, and the second is the part. Okay, let's discuss one more thing. If these 2 conditions are true together, it means we got our answer. Just suppose we are at this end of this string and we have 4 4 partitions from this string, right? It means we got a valid IP address out of it, right? But if only one of it is true, it means we are at the wrong point. We have to just return only. Okay, let's go and handle this in our base case. So here, what we have to do? If what? The index is equals to or greater than, okay, greater than or equals to s dot length. It means we are at the wrong place, man. Okay, now this is done. Or the part is equals to 4. So we have to return. Definitely we have to return. But we will check one more thing. If these two are true together, index is equals to s dot length, right? And part is equals to 4. So it means we got our answer. So we would just return. We'll return, but first of all, we'll store our answer. Okay. So for that, answer dot pushback inside this temporary answer dot service string from 0 to temporary answer dot length -1. Okay, so it is stored in our answer now, right? Okay, now after that we will return. Okay, so this was about the base case. Now one more thing we have used is valid here, right? So we have to give the definition to this function. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, we'll write that function here. Bool is valid. Okay, so is valid is getting a string, so let's just have a string here. Okay, now let's go and discuss the condition, that validity we were talking about. So there were 3 conditions to that check the validity. First was part 4. So part this we have handled already in the base condition, right? You have seen that. Now we are left with these 2 conditions. So first of all, we will handle this condition. What is that? If length is greater than 1, then we made that call. Sorry, is valid, that one, right? So it should not start with 0. So let's go. First of all, we will check if the first character of the given string is equals to 0, means it is starting with 0. So we'll return false from here. Very simple, right? If it passes it means that condition is true, the second condition that we were talking about. After that, what we have to do? We have to handle the third condition about its range from 0 to 255, right? So let's go here and talk about that. First of all, this is a string. We have to convert it into integer. So integer value will be equals to stys, right? This is done. Now we just have to compare. If the value is less than or equals to 255, it means it is true, right? So we'll simply return true from here, else return false, right? This is done. This was all about the is valid function. We have handled all the conditions that is required here. Okay, so now let's move ahead and run this code. So we are running, we are having some error at line number 24. Okay, so 24 asf equals to trans plus s dot. Okay, we are having some typing mistake here, substring. Okay, let's have a look. Is there any more? No. Okay, so now let's go and run this again. And yes, this is the outcome. It is accepted. Now let's submit it for all the test cases. So all the test cases passed. So I hope you have learned something with this video. Please like and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.